narratives that define our democracy. Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki delivering razor-sharp analysis, and Ibuka Franklin and Chisom on the question wheel, driving the conversation. We bring you the most compelling discussions on governance, policies, and power plays. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay ahead. The Polity, every weekdays at 9:15 a.m. Exclusive on Udala 104.7 FM Onitsha.
Okay, so it's 17 minutes past 9 a.m. and you are tuned to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. We are saying welcome to the Polity, Thursday edition, 21st of May 2026. And what we'll do on the Polity is that will bring you headlines from various newspapers and bring analysis on the topical developments in the Polity. My name is Franklin Debeka, and Tuno Disambeki is on the analysis that is very morning. He's going to take us through the stories, the analysis, and the issues you need to know regarding the stories we're going to bring in your way this very morning. Anthony, good morning.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Franklin Jukwebuka. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, India Nambara. Good morning, Indonesia. Donidu. Good morning, Indosumo. Good morning, everyone under the reach of our voice. It's a very beautiful Thursday morning, and we welcome you all for this and not. I wanted to say Episcopal, but I understand that we are not in the church. Well, you're welcome to this very, very beautiful gathering. You know, it's a gathering of people who are conscious about the way things happen in our country, not just our country and beyond. The socio-political and economic situations of our nation. We keep talking about these things. We cannot get tired. We cannot be really in any way, faint talking about these things. You're welcome once again. And just like I will do every morning, people from different walks of life, you are welcome. Pensioners, senior citizens, the able and physically challenged, everyone, and at the same time, those who are under our influence and also our voice. You are welcome. We thank you very much for joining us every morning. We thank God Almighty for His grace, for His love, for His mercy, for His kindness, for all He has been doing for us. 21st of May, this is a beautiful period in our time, and we know very well that primaries are what is usually trending, and I'm aware that APC will be having their governorship primaries. I think today, they have concluded their senatorial primaries. We have seen the winners and the losers as well. And a lot of things, for me, is happening in the polity, and we're going to look at them piecemeal by piecemeal, and we'll be able to make sense out of them. Just sit back and enjoy the program. Okay,
so like you told you had to sit back and enjoy the program. You mentioned the primaries of the APC. Guess what? That primaries for senatorial position held on Monday. But guess what? In some states, they have not seen the list of candidates who scaled through. And people have been asking questions of is it how it's going to happen? You said you're going for consensus method or direct system, and 2 days, 3 days after the primaries were conducted, nobody has seen the list of those who scaled through in that election. And in some states too, you will hear some aspirants alleging that there were irregularities involved in direct system of primaries. According to them, the result announced did not in any way reflect the actual voting on that very day. One person is Senator NADECO, who has raised the alarm. He said he has videos of how people voted, but when the result came out, it was a different case altogether. So maybe you're going to hear more on this in the course of today's program. And we have to inform you that we are live already on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You can get on the page and see the video of what we are doing here. I mean, you watch direct. what we are doing. Then on YouTube and Instagram, we are Udala Radio on these platforms. And for you to please, when you get there, press the notification button. That's just to subscribe. Sorry, just subscribe. You see a button there, subscribe. You just click it. Why you are going to subscribe is that if you post a video or once our video comes up, you'll be able to get notification. It costs you no money to subscribe. So we need you to do that for us on our YouTube channel. Okay, before we get to the headlines, I hope you enjoyed the program they brought to you on Berry Cambry, where they talked about the need for government and concerned authorities to respond to the issues of blood drainages. And they give example of Sakamori. They talked about the people who lost their lives in a flood-related incident that was on Monday while coming back from an event, I think Monday, Sunday. And if we're going to extrapolate on that, the fact is that aside that very place mentioned, there are several drainages that need to be desilted. A few days ago, I saw work ongoing at Uyagwa Bagana, where they were desilting the gutters there. And guess what, Tony? I was stunned to see the depth of that very gutter because sand had filled 3/4 of that very gutter. If you check many gutters around this area, the same story is there. If you go to Enugu Expressway, you will see that when you get to that, that's an area at Umunya where, close to toll gate. Once there's rainfall, the flood comes to take over the entire road because the gutters by the two sides have been blocked. And keep on wondering, those agencies we have that are supposed to be maintaining federal roads, the FEMA for instance, what is it doing? If you come to the state level, local government authorities, what are they doing? Can they take up the responsibility of ensuring that these drainages are well cleared and desilted so that when flood comes, it will be able to have a free flow than covering everywhere, and people will not be able to decipher where there is road or where there's no road?
Well, for me, I know very well that the kind of environment we have here, we did not put adequate planning the way it should be. That's why we are doing this every rainy season, because we keep desilting the drainages. We keep desilting. Because we don't have avenues to prevent debris getting into gutters, drainages. All these things that clog these drainages. And we know one of these things is sand. Situations where we allow sand to get into drainages, they will just fill it up and we keep desilting. How many times would we do that? I think we must emphasize more on prevention method as against reactive or cure method. We must emphasize on that. What do we do to make sure sands do not get into drainages? What do we do? And what do we do to ensure that some of these items, people don't know how to make disposal? Somebody will just eat, and before you know it, the person will fling it. Wicked. Sometimes some people will tell you, for me, you shouldn't have done that. Would you have done that if you are in London? You go London, wherever you think is well planned. Do you go on and urinate anywhere you see indiscriminately, even when you think no place can be cited? Or do you go on and throw anything, whatever you eat, you drop it? We must be very mindful of what we do. We must be civilized. I have said it many times. I would want these agencies, social brigade, to do more campaign to sensitize the people. If possible, put on some signposts. Don't eat and drop anything. Don't even do that, because these things, when it rains, it will clog the waterways, the drainages, and when these drainages are clogged, the road will spoil. That's why these roads don't. What spoils the road? Water. Especially when water permeates where it shouldn't, it will cause crack no matter how long it takes. My concern is we must so much emphasize on preventive measures as against measures of desilting. Yes, desilting is good, but once we desilt, there are times they will desilt, they will keep the sand behind the gutters, and rain will fall and bring the sand back. That is madness, insanity for me. You don't do that. What's the sense of bringing the sand out? You're waiting for the tippers that will come and carry them, and situations where they don't carry them, it will rain, and you know we are in the rainy season. It will just put them back. We must help ourselves.
Okay, so, I have to be specific this time around. Onitsha local government authority, Onitsha North local government authority needs to listen to this. The Oguta Road, you talk about Oka Road. Go and check most of the drainages. They are blocked. And I'm afraid of what is going to happen if there is heavy rainfall. We might have some shops being flooded. Mbafa, I say, name a come, say ma come. Let's go for relief material, what have you not. If they can go and seal these areas, so that when the rains come, Milipota or when got a bogus I go do for the meantime before Patana main road. The earlier we do this, 2 days ago I took my time to look at the gutters by Oka Road, precisely close to ABS Junction. In Manipoteba, the gutters are covered. I mean, by the left hand side, it's covered. If you're coming from Savoy down to DMGS, the ones by the right hand side, they are covered. Man, you don't so now for that now. Every night, suju is covered with sand that and what's channel for water to flow. And I'm wondering what is going to cost a local government to go and do that desilting. It's not going to cost much. And if you are doing that, you are doing it for the interest of the people, so that this issue of Namlizo miss a channel by the man maybe chaife. It happened in Oka a few days ago. So the earlier we do this, I think it's going to be better for all of us. It's for the good of everybody and not for good of maybe Tony, myself, or that radio. So authority, please, we are making an appeal to you to do the needful. Alright, so thank you all for listening. We are going to switch gears now and get to the issues, get to the headlines this very morning. And for the headlines, it seems there is a casualty of man already befalling somebody in River State, because River State governor has thrown in the towel. And what do I mean? He said he has withdrawn from the governorship race under the APC. And from what is happening now, it seems like the road has been cleared for Kingsley Chimda, to emerge a consensus APC candidate. Then you talk about today being Thursday, which is going back into history. We do old school here on Thursdays. And today, of course, NADECO turned 32. Mr. President spoke there, where he talked about how subsidy cabals came after him because he made a move to ensure that gets to be stopped. And somewhere in Delta, we have Senator Nwoku who is crying foul that he was robbed at the primary. And then in Lagos, Desmond Elliott said he was withdrawing, that he was being intimidated in the contest and he had to withdraw. And so many other things that we have seen happening. Then there's a case in Anambra State here where a kidnap victim in Anambra State some time ago, he was kidnapped and later he was rescued. His vehicle recovered, Mercedes-Benz was recovered, and he went to police station to see the vehicle, only for him to go for collection later, and the vehicle was nowhere to be found. And somebody raised an alarm, and today, the vehicle has been recovered. Yesterday, police PRO in Anambra issued a statement saying that they've been able to get the vehicle back to the man. And we're asking, where was the vehicle before? All these things are going to feature in today's program. So stay with us. We are going to be in the headlines.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, you're tuned to Udala Radio 104.7 FM and you are listening to The Polity. It's 9:31 a.m. and time for us to bring the headlines. My name is Franklin Bekatuni Sambeki on the analysis desk, and we head straight to the papers, 4 of them, This Day, Vanguard, Punch, and the Guardian newspapers. We'll begin with the headlines we have on this day, and the big story there says Fubara withdraws from APC Goba primary, says decision difficult but necessary. You will see some writers there. One says declares he has faced immense pressure, difficult choices. Tony Cole also stands down Goba bid. That story can be found on page 8 of this newspaper. And above the nameplate, unfazed by new inflationary concerns, CBN retains MPR at 26.5%. People have been calling that it should be reduced, but CBN found reason to retain that. That was yesterday. You can see the story on page 8 of this newspaper. S&P upgrades ratings for access. BOI, GTB, Stanbic IBTC, Standard Chartered, UBA, Zenith. That's the story you see on the front page of this newspaper. And then you will see the picture story of Mr. President, meeting the Oni of Ife. And the headline there reads, When Royalty Meets Power. Okay, NAF destroys terrorist hideout in southern Tumbus, Mandara Mountains on page 7 of this day. That was yesterday. The DHQ issued a statement saying that they've been able to kill about 157 terrorists in a collaboration with the US. And I also saw that AFRICOM also confirmed that that number of terrorists was actually untrue. Talking about the collaboration, what they've been able to achieve ever since it started. We move to Vanguard newspaper this morning. The big story there says NADECO at 32. Oil subsidy, exchange rate cabals want me dead. Tinubu. The story is on page 5. It has some riders. Asks Nigerians to expect better deal in his second term. Shoyinka Oshoba, Ladoja, others chart way forward for Nigeria's democracy. Say sacrifices of democracy matters must not be in vain. NADECO honors Vanguard, others for democratic struggles. This one says APC Delta North primaries rigged. NADECO claims on page 8. CBN retains rate at 26.5%, says no FX market intervention on page 19. Insecurity, Nigerians have constitutional rights to self-defense, presidency on page 9. Has it ever been in contest whether Nigerians have this right to defend themselves or not? Maybe the issue has been if that their rights can withstand the kind of arms that these people carry these days. Okay, so these are the headlines we have on the front page of Vanguard. Then the picture story there is about Femi Otedola meeting Dangote, and after the meeting he made a statement that he's going to invest $100 million in Dangote refinery. So the title there says First Holdco visit Dangote refinery. That's the picture story you see on Vanguard. And then we move to the Punch. On Punch newspaper, Fubara withdraws as APC governors emerge sole aspirant on page 2. Primaries, Fubara withdraws as APC governors emerge sole aspirant on page 2 of Punch newspaper. And this one is about editorial. It says, establish Southwest Security Trust Fund now. And the headline says, Oyo abduction, Abbas demands rescue as military deploys jets on page 12 of the Punch. Political thuggery killing Nigeria's democracy, Jonathan on page 17. Coup trial, accused colonel rejects military court on page 7. Tinubu Shoyinka Ladoja relieved NADECO battle at Abadokun's book launch on page 17 of the Punch. CBN holds rate at OPS flags manufacturing risk on page 11 of Punch. We now move to the Guardian. Big story on Guardian is on page 6. Says abduction fears trigger panic in Southwest schools communities. 2 days ago, we saw how students were running helter-skelter in a video that went viral because there was a false alarm. Some students cited some persons behind their school fence, and then they told teachers and they raised alarm, and everybody fled thinking that it was gunmen who had come again. So once bitten, twice shy. And this one says ADC screens Atiku Amechi Hayatuddin as NDC clears Obi on page 3. Airlines raise base fares to 200,000 naira as Jets A hit 2,650 naira per liter on page 3. So all the intervention they talked about has not been able to bring down the price of Jet A fuel used for aviation. And then Otedola stakes $100 million in Dangote refinery as investor demand Otedola stakes $100 million in Dangote refinery as investor demand exceeds $2 billion on page 3. Tony, I don't know what is going to happen by the time Dangote refinery, opens up with initial public offer. I don't know. It's like something people are going to rush it, knowing that this is a viable venture, because for $10 to sell his stake in what's it called again, in power business, he sold that for him to be able to have money to buy a stake in Dangote refinery. Tinubu orders MDAs to adopt digital systems as 38 ministries go paperless on page 29. A school proprietor jailed for life over defilement of pupil on page 8. And CBN retains lending rate at 26.5% as Cardoso bets on rising confidence. On page 16 is the business page. Fubara others withdraw from Gubare's site party unity irregularities on page 6. INEC reads riot act to vote buyers ahead of Ekiti-Guba polls on page 5. ASU raises fresh concerns over delayed implementation of 2025 pact on page 4. FG urges calm, assures Nigerians of enhanced Ebola preparedness on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. These are the headlines this for a morning, so we ask you to be with us as we now navigate you through these stories. Stay with us.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, we are live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Check the video out there and help us to share and also comment. Please, when you're commenting, make your comment very comprehensible and comprehensive. And please put your name and your location. So, Tony, we begin from River State, where the casualty of a man seems to be there already, because the governor of River State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, has withdrawn from the governorship race in River State under the APC. The primary for governorship under APC is going to hold today across the country. The party has been pushing for consensus arrangement, and in some state it has worked out, in some state it has not worked out. In River State, it seems that they are trying to have their way around one person who is a former minority leader of the House of Reps, Kingsley Chimda, an ally of the FCT minister. And yesterday, Fubara said he has withdrawn in the interest of peace, and he said it wasn't because he is weak, neither it was because he was pushed to surrender. Rather, he wanted the peace of the states to remain intact. That's why he is leaving. Tonyeko also withdrew from the primaries. If you go to Abia State, Mascot Carlo also withdrew from the primaries under the APC in Abia. But we have to begin from River State. So, Tony, what happened to Fubara? Was it a sign of weakness or a sign in the interest of peace in River State, as he said?
Well, for me, we saw this coming and we know it was going to come, but then it's a question of time. And many of us have been waiting for a time like this to talk about the situation of things in River State. Fubara has said it's not a sign of weakness. If it is not a sign of weakness, what sign could it be? A sign of unity? Did you join political party to be doing Warapo gathering or a love gathering? Politics is not love meeting. and you are talking about the unity in the party, is a case where you were defeated in the internal struggle because he did not follow or align with the masses. If he had stood his ground and fight politically, Yeson Wike, it's better for you to lose out in the battle as against not even participating, not even trying at all. In history of Nigeria, Fubara is the only governor, sitting governor, who voluntarily withdrawn from a race. No governor has done this. From the time of First Republic to the time of Second Republic, even the present Fourth Republic, no governor has voluntarily withdrawn from a race. The closest we had was Mbadunju. That was from 1999 to 2003. Mbadunju's case was he did not withdraw. He fought his battle. He was forced out of PDP. He was told head on that he would not be given tickets. What did he do? He left PDP and defected to AD. He was on ballot at the election. He lost gallantly. And we know what the problem was. It was a case of godfathers. Because they could not settle their scores. We know very well the Anambra APF or something like that, if I can remember. A particular forum fought him so hard. And you know how he came or how he became the governor? Because a lot of forces played out. A lot of things happened. Many things happened. There was first primary that produced Professor ABC Nwosu as the candidate of PDP. But along the line, the very man that ensured that ABC Nwosu was a candidate was removed as a PDP chairman in Anambra State. And you know why he was removed? Because they were writing names of those who would be the candidates. In fact, there was nothing like primaries. I'm just trying to remember the name of the very man. We know him very well. He's late now. Immediately, he was removed as the PDP state chairman in Anambra State. Another primary was conducted, and that was how Mbadunju, because before then the forces who were to make him a king, they had come. Mbadunju was actually not in the picture from day one. It wasn't in the picture. But you know why I'm talking about Mbadunju was just to let us know why a lot of things happened during his own time, but he did not fulfill his own part of bargain when he was brought in by the godfathers. But he fought. Yes, as a governor has so much powers, constitutional powers. He fought. But now, Fubara decided not to fight. He tried to fight anyway. State of emergency was slammed on him. In fact, that state of emergency weakened him. He was fighting before. Immediately, the president slammed state of emergency on that very state. Fubara caved in. That was exactly what happened. But there were other governors. I remember, if you go by the Second Republic, there were governors that lost the main election. Bola Ige of UPN, he was defeated amid widespread allegations, because I know that Victor Omololu Olunoya, yes, Victor Omololu Olunoya defeated Bola Ige, who was governor of Oyo State, but it was at the general election. Yes, Ambusalo of Bende State was defeated by Samuel Ogbemudia, but it was during the main election, because Bendel State then was under UPN. They lost to MPN Samuel Ogbemudia. I remember Jim Wobo of Anambra State was not only defeated by MPN CCO with a lot of rigging allegations, but they know Jim Wobo was of NPP, because these were first term. They were never second term governor. They were first term governor. So I'm trying to see where I can place Fubara along this men. If you come to Second Republic, we know very well that Bisi Akonde of Fortune State, Lam Adeshino of Oyo State, Adebayo Adefarati of Ondo State, Olusegun Ochoba of Ogun State, and Ni Adebayo of Ekiti State, they all lost out in the PDP tsunami. I know those people who we are pushing. They were all members of AD, if you could recall. They were all members of AD. But Obasanjo brought the PDP factor into the equation because they were never in support of his presidency. They all voted and they all worked for Olufale. But Obasanjo felt that charity will begin from his own zone. And that was why he brought a lot of factors, and this meant they all lost out. But they lost out during the main election, not withdrawing before the primary. If you look at all these contexts I have pictured, I have painted, one thing stands out. That one man voluntarily withdraws from the race. It has never happened before. We have not seen a governor making a voluntary withdrawal. I'm just saying it for those who also want to know. We have not seen that in history. But it is important that we understand that he has decided, in fact, he was from day one not to be a politician. When he was fighting before state of emergency, because he was fighting because there were those pushing him on, likes of Chijoke, Ihunwo, and then many other people. They were just pushing him on. They were telling him, we are with you. We are here with you. We die here with you. You know, that's the slogan. We die here with you. Wherever you go, we go. Wherever you stay, we stay. But you know, look at all those things. And then immediately, Mr. President said, keep quiet with state of emergency. The state of emergency was to serve as shut up. And they all shut up.
So what do you think could have influenced his decision? Looking at his speech, or the statement he released, he hinted at an undisclosed pressure, surrounding the political process. And I'm going to quote him. He said, "As our elders say, not everything a hunter sees in the forest is spoken of in the marketplace." What do you think could have been the pressure on him that made him to throw in the towel?
I think maybe he may have been reminded of the agreement they reached with Mr. President. Remember, Mr. President intervened multiple of times in their case, and then he was reportedly to have entered into agreement, and nobody knew that agreement. And remember when Wike was saying agreement is agreement. Probably Mr. President told Wike to allow Fubara to complete his term on the condition that he will not be impeached, he will not be removed, and he will not also go for second term. I recall that they were all asked to allow the State Assembly to screen the commissioners. He was to submit to them and also cooperate with him for the interest and progress of the state. When he defected to APC, Wike was shouting on top of his voice, agreement is an agreement. At the point he started dancing it. There was a song, agreement is agreement, he will be dancing it. That he should remember the agreement. When he defected, Mr. President welcomed him. Because he immediately defected, he went to meet Mr. President. Mr. President welcomed him because the president wants whoever that work for him. But that does not stop the agreement he entered. And nobody told us what the agreement was. And we are trying to extrapolate what could be that agreement. But now we have seen what the agreement was. Immediately all his allies were screened out. We confirmed truly that was the agreement. So nothing else.
So would you consider him moving to the APC as a mistake? Because it appears like he moved into the APC with all his life, maybe without a plan B.
For me, he made a lot of political mistakes. If he had been well advised, he wouldn't have got himself where he is. Let me begin. At first, yes, the State Assembly, they were frustrating him. Yes, they were frustrating him. In fact, they provoked him to take certain actions he couldn't have taken. They provoked him. In fact, the State Assembly was the bait Wike used to trap him. He was entrapped by Wike. Honestly, he lacked political maturity. If he had played along with the State Assembly, yes, what would they do? You will bring commissioners, they will reject. You keep bringing. Let them keep rejecting. They will get tired. That is it. And you present budget, they say no, they will not pass the budget. The state, we don't have system in this country where the government will lock up because the State Assembly did not pass the budget. We don't have such. It's so in United States of America. If the U.S. Congress fails to pass the budget, the government will shut down. We've heard it many times.
But can the state function without a budget approved by the State Assembly?
Now, if he makes budget presentation and the state, they will approve it, they will ask questions. Much they will do it will be to cut down certain things he would want to do. They will panabit the budget. Whatever they make out of it, you go on and do with it. Because governors make extra budgetary spendings. They do. But the truth is, they will want to get him impeached, no doubt. You will lodge complaints before the courts. Because even when we know, because some people say, is it the courts you are talking about, the one Wike has bought over? Because he was weakened by two things that weakened Fubara, that to make him to lay on the floor. One, they use court to weaken him, and they use state of emergency.
So is he politically naive? Get my question. When Labour Party was having issues, Governor Oti of Abbas State used Zenith Labour Party to contest for local government election. I mean, not him. You know, he asked his men to move into Zenith Labour Party to contest for local government election. In that same River State, some people contested election for local government using APM as an alternative. So when the dust settle, they'll be able to go back to their base. So for Fubara, looking at how the whole thing happened from the beginning to the end now, because at this point now, it seems like we are at the point of denouement. We saw the beginning, we saw the climax, and this seems to be, this is like the purgation. It's the catharsis of the whole story. So would you say that he's politically naive?
Well, I think if you say he's politically naive, for me, I would say that it is maybe an understatement. The truth remains that he was politically amateurish. Politically amateurish. He lacked political acuity, and he was also deficient in political discernment, and he actually showcased shallow political consciousness and politically impressionable acts. Of course, we see many times. The point I'm trying to make is not just to come here and talk much. Ideologically, he wasn't there. Strategically, he wasn't there. Some would call him all manner of names. There were governors that had faced what he faced. He did not even read from history.
Now, I read someone saying that for him to have withdrawn, that it is the best political decision he has ever made. Do you agree with the person?
I disagree with the person. Because there are few people that don't want him. And how does that turn to be the best political decision? Because some forces don't want to. It's either you can never be for them and at the same time be against them.
So at this point, what's the fate of those who aligned with him? People who stood thick and thin with him, shouting his name, urging him, saying that we are going to stay with you irrespective of what happened.
They are all going to follow him to political oblivion. They are going to follow him.
Do you think it's the end of him?
For now, that's what it takes. Unless he leaves APC, because look at what's going to happen. Probably he will, I don't know if Mr. President promised to give him appointment, but I know that appointment will be resisted. He is seen as political rebel within APC. That's the way he's being seen. And for you to be a political rebel, a political rascal, you will not be accommodated fully.
So the influence he was building on then, or the influence he was banking on there, what happened to that influence?
He was building influence not around the people, and he left the people. He discarded the people. The people were with him. All of a sudden, he left them and decided to make peace and decided to join but he has been really swallowed. He has been swallowed by the choices he made. Now, Wike will decide who will be the senators representing the 3 senatorial zones in River State. He is the political godfather. Give it to him. For whatever reason, some people will say because of the president, because of this. See, since advent of this republic, we have not seen somebody as politically sagacious as Wike. Yes, he may have put his hands where he couldn't have. He may have had some things he did which for us we are undemocratic. Yes, we must agree. There were things he did, and many Nigerians, masses may not like him. But we're saying the way and manner he pulled down PDP. Anybody who can pull down PDP can be said to be a political bulldozer. He pulled down PDP. He dismantled the political configuration, calculus of River State, and recalibrated it the way he wants. He couldn't have done this if not for certain factors, and those factors played in his favor. Because just two things that weakened Fubara. I remember when Justice Peter Lifu gave judgment against him, the way he addressed that Lifu, he was emotional.
So is it the situation of that saying, choose your battle carefully and do not start what you cannot finish?
Do not start what you cannot finish. There is this very saying from Osofia and Kemowo: don't lose what you know you cannot tight. He was telling some local, because when they were parading themselves as mechanics, but they were fake mechanics, and he told some local in a low voice, don't lose what you cannot tight. Fubara went to lose what he knew he cannot tight.
Now let's explore what is available to him. I found an idea somewhere. Somebody is saying that the last card he can play now is to, play along. Of course, he said he's going to work for the party, that whoever emerges is going to join in ensuring that the party gets to win. But the person is saying that he still has one card to play, and that card is to approach the court, asking the court to interpret his tenure as the governor of River State, knowing that he was sometime suspended for 6 months, bringing about an administrator that led the state for like 6 months. The person is saying maybe if he approaches the court and gets judgment in his favor, by the time he takes 6 months out of the cycle, Wike might have finished his first term, as the FCT minister, and he might not return. By then, his power might have been whittled down, and Fubara might be able to have control of River State.
The truth is, I have not seen situations where you go to court to challenge a state of emergency and it was returned back. We've had state of emergencies in different states. We have had one in Bayelsa, we have had one in Plateau State.
He's he's asking to court to interpret for the fact that 6 months was taken out of his time.
That 6 months was not state of emergency.
He's not asking for court to interpret what his tenure is.
No, I think he has no look. In fact, what the person was even saying has no basis. On what ground? You want the court to interpret the 6 months Mr. President took out of your tenure so that your tenure will be another 6 months will be added. We've had judgment on tenure definition. In the case of P2B, when the court announced that his tenure has not expired, the court started counting from the moment he took the oath of office. And Supreme Court, in that judgment, made it very clear that your tenure begins the moment you take oath of office. That's where tenure, because P2B was sworn in on 17th of March 2006. Yes, 17th of March 2006, that was when he was sworn in. And then on 29th of May 2027, they said that his tenure is over. And he went to the court and said, I took oath of office on 17th of March 2006. How come that my tenure is assumed by INEC to be over on May 29, 2007? And the court said, the moment you took oath of an office, your tenure begins. The court did not say if you are suspended or if you are swept aside or if the tsunami of emergency.
The court took note of the intervention that happened within Obi's time, because Obi was illegally impeached, and he went to court, and court nullified the impeachment, and he now went back again for court to now interpret his tenure.
He went back to court. What the court did was to interpret the moment he took oath of office. It wasn't the impeachment.
It was the impeachment that.
That
took him to court for the fact that he lost out some time when he was impeached. So he's now asking court to interpret his tenure because he lost some time when he was away.
Let me explain this. Probably there are those that may be thinking in that way. When Obi went to court, the first court he went to was to challenge his impeachment. That was the first one he went to challenge his impeachment, because he was impeached in a kangaroo manner. The court ruled that his impeachment was unconstitutional and returned him, because at that point Vijay Taba was put in as the governor and she assumed office as the governor. The court ruled that the impeachment and brought him back. He didn't stay long. The next was INEC declared the position of governor in Anambra State, which Anduba, then of PDP, was declared the winner. And before then, he had gone to court again to lodge before the court tenure interpretation. He went to court. And the suit before the court was tenure. And the main fact, because I know those that argue this case, like Sofonye Chief and so many of them, the ground was he took oath of office on 17. They did not even bring the issue of impeachment. The case of impeachment was concluded by the court that he was impeached wrongly. And there were governors that were impeached wrongly that court brought back. And when the court brings you back after impeachment, it cannot alter your tenure, because it's assumed that time you were impeached and you are still the governor in the eye of the law.
Tony, so what made him to took oath of office later than normal?
Because of the Supreme Court ruling that Ngige did not win the election. Remember, INEC had declared Ngige the winner, the candidate of PDP, the winner, and P2B went to court to challenge the declaration of Ngige by INEC as the winner of the contest, because Ngige was also sworn in, issued certificate of return. The matter lingered for a long time. It was on 17th of March. Around, I think it was on 16th of March. It was on 16th of March. The Supreme Court in a land, not the Supreme Court, the appeal court, because issue of governorship race terminates at appeal court then. It was appeal court in a landmark decision declared that Ngige did not win the highest number of valid vote cast. And that was how he was thrown out of office. And then the court ordered that the P2B, the candidate of ABGA, be issued a certificate of return and be sworn immediately. And immediately P2B was sworn on the, because I think he was sworn immediately on the 17th of March. And just like I said, when INEC declared vacancy for position of governor, he went to court again to challenge tenure interpretation on the fact that he was sworn in on 17th of March, because appeal court nullified the election that produced Ngige on the ground that he did not win the highest number of valid vote cast. That was exactly what happened. Some of these things are fresh in our minds.
So what you're saying is what this person expressed might not apply in the case of Fubara.
Take it anywhere. Your tenure begins the moment you took oath of office, not by anything that happens within the process. If you are impeached in the eyes of the law, if you are wrongly impeached, the law assumes that you are still the governor. If you are, because for me, nothing like you don't suspend the governor apart from impeachment. You don't suspend the governor. If you let me say this thing. Remember, the deputy governor and the governor, they took oaths when after winning the elections. Look at Edo State's deputy governor. Why didn't the court ask him to remain? Because you were impeached wrongly, so that your tenure can also run. Yes, I'm talking about the comrade that was removed. Shaibu. He was impeached, and along the line, their tenure, I think, came to an end. The court, he would have gone for tenure interpretation, because governor and deputy governor, these are different offices. He could have gone for tenure interpretation and asked the court, please extend my tenure because they pushed me out of office. No, his tenure began the moment he took out of an office. That's what appeal court ruled.
Okay, so what it means now is because Fubara has withdrawn, Tonyeko has also withdrawn. The coast seems to have been cleared for Kingsley Chimda to emerge as the consensus candidate of the APC in River State. And we also told you that in Abia, that mascot Ojizo Kalo, or mascot Kalo, the brother to Ojizo Kalo, has also withdrawn from that very race, saying that Abian Central needs to complete its tenure before any representative can come in. Now we have to switch gears now to talk about what we hinted earlier. I told the story of how a young man was kidnapped in Anambra State. I think that should be about 2 or 3 years ago. Later, he regained his freedom, and his vehicle was recovered. That vehicle was recovered and taken to police headquarters in Oka. He went there, saw the vehicle, filmed the vehicle, and left. But later, he came back for him to pick up the vehicle, and it was nowhere to be found. That was when the likes of Harris Ngwam Nishu, a human rights activist, got involved. They made some contact, and they were told that the vehicle had been disposed In fact, they had to lodge complaint to the police headquarters. And yesterday, we found out that vehicle has been given back to the young man. In fact, there was a press statement issued by the police PRO in Anambra State that same yesterday. And let me just take the lead of this version. He said the Anambra State Police Command has successfully resolved the reported case involving the alleged missing vehicle belonging to a kidnapped victim, which recently generated public concern following a viral video circulated on social media. The command's findings and subsequent actions help to clarify the circumstances surrounding the matter and ensure that appropriate steps were taken in line with due process and professional policing standards. Consequently, the vehicle has been recovered and returned to the rightful owner, while efforts are ongoing to conclude every other aspect of the investigation. The command appreciates human rights activists, social media handlers, and concerned members of the public who followed the investigative proceedings and showed interest in ensuring justice and accountability. And he goes on to say, the command reiterates its commitment to transparency, accountability, and professionalism in the discharge of its constitutional responsibilities. It further notes that constructive criticisms, useful suggestions, and objective comments from members of the public remain vital components of its policing strategy as they assist in guiding operational decisions and implementing necessary corrective measures. So, Tony, this is the story. And of course, we're going to link up with Harrison Gwamnishu, who was involved in that very case, so that he will be able to share more about this before we now bring you the other analysis that are supposed to come from within here. But Tony, looking at this very story, how can it be told better so that the police can get some respite in this incident?
Well, for me, when you act unprofessionally, you have to come out and own up. Police acted unprofessionally. There's no doubt. I don't want to, say anything more than this. They acted unprofessionally. You don't try to cover up your unprofessional conduct. Own up and apologize. And possibly those who were involved in this should also be sanctioned. If there is any kind of malfeasance, or even nonfeasance, it should be sanctioned. It cannot be condoned. If not for the intervention of the force headquarters, we wouldn't be saying what we are saying.
Okay, so Tony, now we have on phone human rights activist Harrison Gwamnishu, like we told you earlier, that he's going to join us to give us more insight into what actually happened and how the vehicle was recovered. So, good morning, Harrison.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so let's talk about this story which you got involved and hopefully it's been resolved. For us to do from A to Z, how did the process start and how did it end?
Okay, around March 2024, the victim, Mr. Abbas, was kidnapped at around the Buku in Anambra State. His vehicle was snatched, later abandoned somewhere. So this vehicle was later released after paying ransom. After 3 days he spent with the kidnappers, they released him. And then his vehicle was discovered somewhere where the kidnappers practiced. So the vehicle was now taken to the police headquarters and parked at the car park of the police headquarters in Anambra, in Amor. So a young man later went to that same March, went to the police headquarters and then saw his car there. So he was now going about to see how he can recover his vehicle. They didn't give him any response, so he left. Unfortunately, he lost his father, so he decided to go for the burial, and then the car vehicle was still parked at the police headquarters. At that time, they already gave my IPO at the CID, who is named Tochukwu. So the IPO said, okay, fine, they were going to verify to know that the vehicle belongs to him. He gave them the document of the vehicle, and then they said, okay, fine, they will get back to him. So he came again. He did not see around April. and April to May, he did not see this vehicle again when it was parked at the police headquarters. So he started asking for the vehicle. Nobody would tell him where the vehicle was at that point. So he met with Tochukwu, the officer who was supposed to help him for the vehicle, hand over the vehicle to him. Tochukwu could not give account of where the vehicle was moved to or and in fact, the stories was many. The young man started going for the matter. He wrote petition to the CP. One half assembly member assisted him to write a petition to the CP. Nobody could give account of the matter. In fact, they investigated and then closed the case. So last month he reached out to me, and then he narrated everything to me, that what transpired. I listened to him. He gave me the evidence. I said, So I now just posted the video on my Facebook, on the social media space, talking about the matter that the rich man was kidnapped, the kidnapped victim. The car that was recovered was parked at the police headquarters from 2024 to date. They could not give account of the vehicle. So I posted it, and immediately the IGP office in Abuja reached out to me and said that they are on the matter. I should go to the headquarters with the young man to go and meet up with the AT, Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of State CID, that they are going to thoroughly investigate the matter. The young man went to the station to make statements, narrated to them what transpired. They told us to come back. And while we were waiting, somebody reached out to me on my page. I put the Mercedes-Benz, the GLK, on my page. So a car dealer in Abuja reached out to me and said, please, that this vehicle we are looking for, that he bought this vehicle from a young man in Oka. In fact, he has even sold this vehicle to somebody in Port Harcourt.
Did you say that he bought it?
Yes, he said he bought it. Yes, he said he bought it from a young man. The young man now bought it again from another car dealer in Oka. The car dealer, his name is Nati Motors at Aroma Junction. That's where he stands. This man in Abuja connected me to the dealer in Oka, and I asked the dealer in Oka, who sold the car to you? He said he's a senior police officer in police headquarters in Oka. Sold the vehicle to him without papers, nothing. That he said that the man said he believed the vehicle is genuine since it's coming from a senior police officer. So he bought the vehicle and then sold the vehicle to somebody. So that was what transpired. So after he gave us information, I relayed back to the police in Abuja. So they traded the vehicle to Port Harcourt, to the end user, and that was how the vehicle was recovered and then parked at police headquarters. So yesterday, the police informed us that the vehicle has been recovered. We went to Oka, and the vehicle was handed over to Mr. Abbas, the victim, the kidnapped victim that was kidnapped. And then I think the police also released a report that the matter has been resolved on the social media space.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay, now, those people who have been mentioned in the line of this very transaction, what is their fate now? Because how can somebody buy a vehicle without papers, even if it's coming from God?
See now, nobody even know who sold the vehicle. The officer that sold the vehicle, that time they said he's an assistant commissioner of police. At that time, 2024. See now, we don't know the name of this police officer. In fact, they are doing everything possible to hide him to shade him from this investigation. But the police authorities in Anambra State knows the officer who sold this vehicle. The people that bought the vehicle, they are still there. They are not in detention or nobody arrested them because it involves a senior police officer.
Well, I want to ask you, because definitely this is a matter of, for me, it is theft. There's nothing anybody can tell me outside this. Don't you think there would be a possibility to institute a matter before a court to even dig this further? Because I know definitely if you institute a matter, it's going to be police that will prosecute for them to prosecute, they would also, start to look at some evidence or prima facie to push it on. They may even frustrate it. But don't you think there could be other ways that yourself and people involved can put this to unmask whoever that is involved in this? Because the law should be for everybody.
Okay, I didn't hear it clearly. But currently we are working on to identify the officer involved. It will take time. 1-2 days we'll get the officer involved. And for me, I don't hide it. I'll make it public when I get the details of this same officers this officer involved.
Do you think?
So I believe the police. I believe the new IG cannot sit in office and watch these people in Anambra cover this whole stuff. I don't think it's possible.
All right, I think
no matter how highly placed you are in the police force, I don't think they can hide them forever.
I was actually going to ask, do you think this would have been possible without the imprimatur of the senior police officers in Anambra State, especially either the commissioner or the ASP in charge of operations? Do you think the auction or the sale could have been possible without their imprimatur?
It look at possible now. You don't. And this car was not sold as auction, please.
Yo, it wasn't sold as auction.
No. There was no auction. Has process. Police will list out the vehicles they want to sell as auction, and then they advertise it. You understand? This vehicle was sold not as auction. It was sold by the police officer by himself. Acted. The dealer said he bought it without papers.
Okay. Now I want to find out.
And you don't sell vehicle like that auction. You sell abandoned vehicles.
Now the question.
You can auction it.
The question is, don't you think this could have been going on in so many police formations, establishments, where vehicles will be sold indiscriminately without any laid down rules or process or law backing such? Do you think that the process should continue, because there should be need for audit most times when maybe things like these confiscated items, vehicles, there will be an audit panel that will ensure that none is missing?
It's been going on. There was a time we reported that about then Okolo SARS that victims' cars were sold, victims' belongings were sold, victims suspects will even see police officers wearing their gold in their neck. So it's been going on. It's been going on every time. I think the police PRO Anambra should come forward, and maybe your radio, you people should invite him to speak on this. The process of, I believe he is the one. They are the one who can be able to tell Nigerians, the process of selling suspects' belongings or vehicles that were recovered. Because there are several vehicles recovered in the operations. Some of these vehicles, it means that it's being sold to the public by these people who are doing this. And if this man if the police decide to hire this man, it will continue.
Okay.
But I believe this one will now be as a lesson to other officers who are indulged in doing this. Okay. You understand? So please, for me, I urge the police to review the identity of this officer who is involved in this criminal. It's a criminal act.
All right.
It's not something that police should hide.
Okay, so on a final note, I want us to establish something. What was the state of the vehicle when it was recovered after the kidnap incident, and the state when it was recovered now?
Yeah, the vehicle, the front bumper was very bad because the kidnappers used it very rough. But now the vehicle was 2015. The face was 2015. So, but now they've changed it. They've upgraded the vehicle to a higher model. Yes, a higher model, because the man testified yesterday and said that the vehicle was fixed. They have, they changed a lot of stuff at the front, and the car is in good shape now.
Okay, so the victim now, where is he?
It's Anambra.
Okay, all right. So
yes.
Harrison, we thank you very much for letting us into the process, what it was like leading to recovery of that very vehicle. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. So we'll try also to speak with King one of these very days, at least to get to know more about this very incident, because That's one experience that I had. That was when I was in university, and somebody broke into my apartment and made away with plenty of stuffs. It happened here. It happened in Anambra State here, and the guy traveled from here in Anambra to Enugu State, where he attempted to sell some of those things. In fact, he had sold some of them. He was going to sell television, stabilizer, standing fan, before he was caught by members of vigilante in Enugu. I'm talking about in what's it called again? I'm trying to record the name of that very place in Enugu State. Once I record, I'm going to mention that. And that was how I was contacted. And I got to Enugu because the guy, what I was in Enugu. The guy came in, slept in the apartment, so he ransacked everywhere. He even found the receipts where I kept all of them, and he took all of them. It was that same receipt that got him implicated because he couldn't defend what on in the receipt. So when I was called, I got there. At the end of the day, to cut the story short, police said the case was going to be, it was going to be sent to court. They will file the case at the court. I think then I was preparing for my final examination. At the end of the day, it went the way it did. But what I'm trying to portray is when I went to pick up the item recovered, because even my clothes, my shoes, the electronics that were recovered, I went to pick up those things. And police said, one story or the other. I went there for close to 1 week to take those things that were recovered. And somebody advised me, go to court and get a court order. That was what solved my own problem. I went to court gave an order, and that was how they released those things without come today, come tomorrow. Now, I don't know how to describe what actually happened, that somebody's vehicle was recovered in the course of operation, and then that vehicle disappeared all of a sudden.
Now, I've said it many times because I like the introduction of paperless, paperless civil service, which is going on now. Every communication should be digitized. Every communication. And I have said it many times that we have a cesspool. We need to cleanse the audience table. We have to. And a lot of rot is going on in different institutions. What we just discussed now is just one of them. It's just one of them. And this has to do with theft. What about human rights violations? What about accusations of organ harvesting? And there's so many of these things going on because we don't monitor, we don't evaluate, we don't audit, we don't have cameras everywhere. I think we are one of the countries where public institutions will not be covered with cameras. Public spaces. I'm honestly telling you, if you go around some countries that know what they're doing, Kenya, Ghana, most police commands, police stations are covered with cameras, conversations. Everything is taken note of. Even if there are things you could do outside, no doubt, but at least it will reduce, not that it's going to wipe out everything. The idea is this: we must take the issue of accountability very serious, which we don't. Because when we are talking about Fubara case, it tells you a lot. Somebody was actually reminding me that Ambode was the first person who voluntarily withdrew from the race, that Fubara is the second. And if Ambode withdrew from the race, we know the circumstances, almost the similar circumstances, because he was the governor of Lagos State, and he was told in a clear terms that he would not be given a ticket. He did everything possible. He ran to Muhammadu Buhari, but then he was also told to go and beat Jagaban, and he was told that Sanwo-Olu will take up. But he fought until he threw in the towel. I think Sanwo-Olu was the first, possibly Fubara is the second. So we want to correct that. Moving forward, we need to sanitize our institutions. If you go to ordinary local government, a lot of things go on there. I remember when we were doing names registration, something that should be free. You will see those collecting money brazenly. There are some things that are free in many local governments. Either immunization, you will see those that will be collecting money. Nobody monitors them. Nobody checks them. They are not seen. These people behave like ghosts that can do anything and walk away with it. When do we correct such anomaly? Every local government, every office should have camera. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, so we are going to go to So NADECO memorial that was held yesterday, should I call that memorial? Well, it was an event of NADECO. NADECO turned 32, and at that very event, the president said that oil subsidy and the exchange rate cabals wanted him dead because of the reforms he brought about, and they were edged out of business, and they wanted him dead. After the break, we'll talk about this a bit and then get to open the phone lines for you to join the conversation. Stay with us.
Udala Radio, 104.7 FM.
Seriously authentic.
Searching for a place to eat good food and still enjoy premium relaxation? Stanley World Agwoka got you covered. Welcome to Stanley SFF Restaurant and Operiche Lounge Agwoka, where taste meets class. From hot, delicious local dishes to mouth-watering African and continental cuisines, pepper soup, grilled meat, rice, drinks, and many more. Everything is fresh and satisfying. Step into Operiche Lounge, a calm, classy environment to chill, hang out, and unwind. Perfect for friends, dates, and after work relaxation. Chop well, drink well, and feel cool morning, afternoon, and night. Stanley SFF Restaurant and Operiche Lounge, a haven for good food, great vibes, top security, and steady comfort. For further inquiry, call 0814-565-6920 or 0813-855-8009.
Attention schools, attention young champions. This Children's Day, it's time to think fast, speak boldly, and shine brightly. Udala Radio 104.7 FM Onitsha presents Children's Day Debate 2026. With the theme, Phones in Young Hands, Freedom or Risk? What's the right age for kids to use phone? Date, Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. Time, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Live on Udala Radio. Open to primary 4 to 6 students across Anambra State. 12 schools, 6 exciting rounds, and only 3 champions. This is your chance to showcase brilliance, confidence, teamwork, and public speaking skills live before a wide audience. The event will be streamed live on Udala Radio and judged by an impartial team of professionals. Registration fee is 20,000 naira per school. Amazing prize gifts await the top 3 schools, plus other consolation gifts, items, and recognition for schools being represented. For more enquiries and registration, please call 0707-329-1750 or 0703-611-1998. Let's raise a generation that debates, decides, and drives change.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
You won't drive, commode. Just normal movement, Abi. Nothing serious, I get it. But accident no the plan, no. It just they happen. That small click of your seatbelt, if it save your life. And now 1 second matter. So, before you move, no just think wear your seatbelt every time.
104.7 Udala Radio.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Yes, you are listening to the Polity on Udala Radio 104.7 FM. I just heard about the Children's Day debate on that very announcement with a theme, Phones in Young Hands, Freedom or Risk. Is an exciting one, and it will be a time for pupils to showcase what they have, a time to talk about or talk to us for us to have a feel of what they have in their mind. So it's very open to schools for them to enroll on this. If you have a school in Onitsha environment, of course, this is an opportunity for you to showcase what your school can do. With just registration for the event, 20,000 naira, your school stands a chance to win mouth-watering prize on that very day. That's the prize for the winner, the second runner-up, and then the third runner-up. There are prizes for them. Then there are also, gifts that are going to be given to children who are going to be on that very day. What we call the consolation gifts. So for schools, you have to take charge of this opportunity. And then for sponsors, if you have things you want to share with the kids, of course, they are welcomed, and you stand a chance of having, the mention being recognized as one of the sponsors. So we are open for that. And if you wish to get across to us, there are phone numbers you can reach. You can reach 070-732-91750. I'm going to repeat that. 070-732-91750. And the last one, 070-732-91750. If you want your school to participate, if you want to be a sponsor, you can call the telephone line and you are going to get all you need. Okay, so Tony, quickly, before we open the phone, let's talk about what the president said at the NADECO event, where he talked about, cabals coming after him because he removed the fuel subsidy and they harmonized the exchange rate. Why would they come after him? What did he actually stop that will make people to come after him?
Well, for me, we usually have these statements coming from those who are in power. I remember Okonjo-Iweala making the same statement. I remember Jonathan saying the same thing. They will tell you that because of the reforms that are brought in, there are cabals who would not want that. I wonder, whoever want Mr. President dead, how would the person be able to get Mr. President? Because he has a coterie of escorts. He cannot have sex easily. How would the person be able to do it? But unless they may be having such wish. Remember, I recall that Vice President Chetima was actually of the view that there were those that met Mr. President and told him that the very clothes he handed over to him as a gift.
Now, okay, so I just pulled up the actual statement.
Okay.
And it says, those cabals who are doing round tripping will wish him dead anytime.
That's the word wish. I think that's more, it makes it very correct.
The headline gave a different idea.
I think that makes it correct. They wish him. Definitely, if you try to remove somebody from where he gets anything illegally, the person would also want to come after you. It's natural. But the truth is, I want to deviate a bit and talk about NADECO, because I know that NADECO was formed on the 15th of May 1994. I think it was formed at the residence of Major General Adeyinka Adebayo in GRA Lagos, because I know it was a broad coalition for various pro-democracy groups. And Afenifere joined, led by Michael Ajasin. I know the movement for national reformation, led by Anthony Naharo of blessed memory. The campaign for democracy, led by Beko Ransom Kuti, and others like the Committee for Unity and Understanding. Many of them came together. Of course, one of the things they were pushing, and we know, I can remember so many of them. Come on, the B2 Kiwe, Ndubisi Kano, T.Y. Danjuma, Alane Akrena Dave, and there were many. And you remember Mr. President gave them national honors. The other time we talked about national honors, but they were talking about validation of June 12, 1993 election, the end of military rule, the restoration of civil liberties, and some other things they canvassed for. Now, is NADECO? I don't know if NADECO is still on, because for me, it should be defunct by now. But if we assume that it is still on, are they still living by what they canvass or what they profess? It's another thing, because Mr. President was talking about their 32-year anniversary, saying some cabals had wished him dead because of the reforms he has brought, and then trying to make the parallel markets as against the arbitrage market we've had before, and other things he said. The point, and he also brought up the issue of NADECO. What were they? Are they still what they were, or where are they now?
Okay.
A lot of things, a lot of questions.
So we'll leave it at that point so that we'll be able to take some calls at this very point. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. I would like to hear from you. Please don't forget that you have a limited time to talk, so articulate what you want to say and give us a punch. Good morning.
Hello. Yeah, good morning, my speaker.
Good morning.
My name is George, calling from Asaba.
Go on, George.
You see, I would say it's a very big shame to the River State Governor, Fubara. I don't want to use the harsh word on him. The first time this issue came on board, I told the people that he would have listened to a master from day one. Why starting fight that you can't finish? Okay, when we are taught that he have moved down to APC and have some leverages and have some power,
now in the 9 minutes. See, it's very, very shameful. I don't even know that when just, are you not in Nigeria? When Oshomole was having issue with Obaseki, to the ground. And Nigerians, the way we understand our way of politics, our citizens always have that sympathy from anybody that look like they're intimidating. If they see the eye button on the wall and defect to another party, I believe that Nigeria will vote him in. There's a kind of vote that people will vote for you, they can't argue out. It's not possible. If everybody come out and say this person that we want, it will be very hard. Now you just shamefully and decide on your own that you are stepping aside. Ow! I woke up Kwamado. No. That decision, anybody will give her this decision and thought that this is a bad decision. It's a very big liar. Where is somebody today? Where is somebody? I think it's nowhere to be found. Where you looking for peace, run around begging Tinubu up and down.
All right.
It's a very, 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 very sad situation where we don't tell ourselves in democracy of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, George, for calling. Hello. Okay. Try again. Let's see if we can get better connection. Please don't forget that we are also live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Udala Radio.
Good morning.
My name is Mora Onwegu.
Okay.
I'm speaking from Babu.
Go on, sir.
A lot of things are happening in the police work in Anambra. It's very bizarre. I think I'm a director of one of them. On 5th of May, 2008, my Kata 150, brand new Kata 150 was collected right in my very hometown from by the vigilante because of issues involving my compound, which presently is sold now. We are in court on it. That motorcycle got to police, and police asked them to bring the motorcycle. They refused to bring the motorcycle. On that 5th of May, 9, when I bought another one, I was directed to go to the DP attacker. I went there. I think that was DP Donna Wood. He told me that I'm a common criminal, that I should go and answer whatever is involved. I now told him, I said, I'm here for two of us to iron out this so that we don't sell ourselves to the public. He just swung his chair and told me that I can. And I told him I'll be back here because this is my local government headquarters. Meanwhile, they've not actually asked me who I am. But I think I will use the money. There are undertones about the matter because the matter that is involved is very deep. There was a policeman that was transferred from Kaduna to Oka, and he was posted that we met there because we were together in Kaduna then. He was in Kawa police station. Then I was working in Mali. So we saw, and after greeting, the man said that, why should I suffer this kind of attack?
Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
This matter is in the north.
Can you hear me?
I left. That was the very day another person killed somebody at the street with a gun. That was the night of that day. I left the piece of land. I left that. I wanted to go to Oka. My body couldn't carry it.
Okay. Thank you very much. We wanted to hear more about your story, but the thing is this, we are time bound. That's number one. And number two is that I wanted to ask some questions so that we get to know the root of what happened, what led to the arrest. What led to the so let's call that impoundment of the vehicle, of the motorcycle, and other things. But all the same, please, when you call in, remember we are time bound so that you'll be able to manage your time. Good morning. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How does it?
You're welcome.
News these days are so scarce, BARSE, and we don't really get to the bottom of it all. We look at it from the surface and not talking about the real substance. I was going to use truth. Substance. And the first estate of the rain is not doing us better. We spend so much time talking about ourselves. We're not doing good enough. The kidnappers have the free day, the analysts have the free day, and everyone is talking some kind of aggrandizement. Can we begin to look inwards and look at Fubara, for example? That is a main topic of politics. So I'm talking about him. And we know that his attitude is an acrimony and is beyond and below any political norm. Let's kind of come back. As for Tinubu and his cohort, we know that they don't have the material to carry our country along. So let's begin to tell them some home truth that what they're doing is wrong. Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Franklin and Dr. Tulis Vicky. Very good morning to you.
You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Chidi Chukuma, reaching you from Bo.
Okay.
Talking of Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, he disappoints everybody, all his supporters. Time is of essence in everything in this life. So, but the decision we are taking now is very, very late. And it is too late to cry when the head is off. In a local parlance, this is what we call medicine after death. He disappointed everybody, even his supporters. He made a very ugly statement severally against all his supporters. That is different from what happened in Anambra State, because we experienced the similar situation in Anambra State. And even the president of that time, Olusegun Obasanjo, was in support of the people who want to shortchange the Anambra people. But Ngige stood tall, and the people supported him. And you can't tell me that because you want to be very loyal to president, even to follow him sheepishly at your detriment. And that is what happened when Fubara signed an agreement that was so detrimental to his position as the governor of his Rivers State. And you can see that in this situation now that one person has taken the victory, and that victory is against the people of Rivers State, because it means that their destiny is tied on the apron of one man. The economy of that state and everything about that state is one man is controlling them, and they are slavery to him. That is what Fubara has brought to the people of Rivers State. So, in all this now, can we call this thing democracy? What kind of democracy do we practice when some people are even applauding Wike and his type of politics that he plays? But where are we going from this? What kind of democracy?
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chidi Chukwuma. Thank you for joining. Hello.
My name is Comrade Walton. Calling you from Malisa.
Go on.
Can I go on? Yes. I'm very much concerned with what happened in Rivers State. In fact, I was watching the news with my wife last night. Even my wife said, "Hey, this man is working." You understand?
We are with you. Are you still there?
I can even trust her to do better than Fubara. You see? So that is what happens when somebody is desperately in need of power. He can do anything just to remain in power. But I promise Fubara, you are now, in fact, your political career.
Are you still there?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, your political career is gone forever. And I want to challenge the people of Rivers State. You have seen how your monies are being shared, and you know the people who are sharing your money. And now to you direct challenge on any citizen of Rivers State. This is a wake-up call. Because you cannot allow charlatans to be in control of your faith. These are charlatans.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining. Good morning. All right. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, welcome on board.
Yeah, this is Akamere.
Go on.
Yeah, and Akamere is calling from Sigi.
Yes.
My speaker, I'm so much happy with you because I always try to listen to your analysis every morning. I want to just talk on this Fubara issue. He was saying all that is not a sign of weakness. I don't think that man knows what he's doing. Fubara is a big disgrace. Forget about governor or whatever. I remember when they were inaugurating him. Ayodele Fayoshe. I was watching television when Ayodele Fayoshe was telling him, "Don't fight this your godfather." He was telling him because he knows Wike will try to fight to finish. He was just advising him, "Say please, whatever you want to do it and see that you are in a good peace with him." And he know that he cannot fight this battle. He started it. And look at the way all the supporters, he just, destroyed their political careers. Look at the way they lost out in a APC this thing. All of them, none of them just won that primary. Screening. Nothing, sometimes when you listen to this man like this, it seems as if this man is I don't know the kind of name I will call him.
Okay.
I want to also to talk on this police issue. This has been this kind of thing has been happening. If this man didn't know this human rights activist, I don't think that this guy will be recovered. But it's because you know him. But I thank God for that man because he told us here that he will make sure that everything is revealed, that they are not going to hide this thing. So let them not hide it so that they will know that man that sold that vehicle. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I'm getting a report about something in River State. I would need to confirm and be doubly sure before I'm going to let it out this very morning. So as the program progresses, I hope to confirm that before we get to leave. And then we have to go to our Facebook page, but let's see. Let's take one more call before we get to the Facebook page. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Tony, good morning, sir.
Good morning, your name?
Yeah, this is the voice of Igwe from Obo Mandani local government area of Rivers State. But I'm in Onisha this morning calling you.
All right, go on, sir.
Yeah, you see the issue of Fubara. You see, there is one thing. The only way, one of the ways you know a coward is from the ways of their mouth. They are always filled with excuses and all manner of complaints and this, that. Let me tell you something. There is an adage that said that quitters doesn't win and winners doesn't quit. You understand me? If you want peace, you will be ready for battle. Peace is not being given, it's being taken. Even in the Bible itself, it said that the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and it was only the violent that take it by force. You understand me? So, for him to just come out and tell us that he has surrendered, to me, is an act of cowardice. You understand me? So, because just like last 2 weeks, people were speculating, saying that Fubara wants to defect from APC to another party. He came out and said that people are spreading false news on his behalf. that he's still a full-time member of APC is that. And today, what is the result? You understand me? That is why sometimes I used to be angry with some of the governors who defected and said, giving us excuses that they want to connect with the government in the center so that they will do this and do that. And I keep on asking them, which government of the center did Tinubu defected in from 1999 to the end of his tenure and still put Lagos in order?
All right.
He's only a standing governor in the opposition party. He stood on his ground, even when the allocation of Lagos State was withheld. Tinubu still remained in his own party as an opposition member. But today, you hear those failed politicians and governors telling us that they defected to APC so that they will accuse the government at the center.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Fubara, to me, is a disgrace to his.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your opinion. So let's quickly look at these various statements on our Facebook page. The post you have. Also, Francis Omaganamani, watching from Agus in Enugu State, he says, for Nigeria to be better again, all hands must be on deck. Mazi Nwode Chikwadoromo Sinachi says, this issue of Fubara withdrawing from Rivers governorship race is a clear notification that he is weak and confused. He initiated his political downfall. It is improper for a hunter to shoot on his leg instead of shooting an antelope standing before him. He says Fubara's case is quite similar to former President Jonathan, and he posted from Odabwonicha. Duben Stanley says Fubara is a case of the saying that says that a coward dies many times before the actual battle. He should come and learn lessons from Gige of Anambra State, or Udom of Akwa Ibom, or Basake of Benin. Okay. Aloysius Odeli says APC are the reason why Fubara withdrew from the race. How can Wike, who claims to be a PDP member, still control the activities of APC in River State? The support and backing Fubara expected from APC and the president is nowhere coming his way. So it's better to withdraw and save the state of political tensions and crisis. He posted from Umuoba Nam. Omagan Namani says the issue of party primaries should be centered on merit rather than consensus candidacy to enhance our democracy. Ekegana says Wike is now telling Rivers people that he alone owns everything concerning politics in Rivers. Fubara is now taking the back seat as he said that he is going to support whoever that will be APC candidate. Okay, so let's see other posts we have. Okay, Joshua Onyedelim says great analysis from the speaker. Akim Yambode actually went for primaries in 2019 but was defeated. The powers that be mobilized massively against him and the margin of loss was huge. He considered defeat to Sonwolo. Thank you for that. Ifeanyi George Ifediora says he is watching from Bright Street Onitsha, Bright Street Main Market. He says for Fubara, stepping down from APC primaries reveals how APC will lose River State come 2027. For me, Fubara will like to align himself with any political party that seems to have stronghold in River State to enable his political career remain strong. That's according to Ifeanyi George Ifediora. Jennifer Sunday says Nigerian government need to stop the police. People don't trust them again. That's what she said. UG Hannah just says Fubara made a mistake by entering the APC. Obunoya CK says unfortunately it appears that Obuko is not part of Anambra State or Cha Brigade or any of their subsidiaries. On Odu Okeke Street, for example, at the back of Uzi Street, a school is flagrantly dumping their pile of waste, not even in the gutter, but on the very street itself with impunity. And he says offensive. So for authorities concerned, they should take note of this very report. Ifeanyi Jibuaku says the people of River State will decide if Fubara made the right choice or not through their vote next year. Not to cry more than the bereaved. And Zekwe Celestine says Fubara's withdrawal from the primary heroic, and I don't care how other people look at it. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. He can always be a governor under other political parties' platform and not necessarily APC. and he needs to be alive for his family and loved ones for his dream to be actualized, having seen that the powers that be is against him. And let me quickly do this before we get to wrap up because we are out of time. Jacob Bishop says Fubara's withdrawal Fubara's withdrawal is in his best interest. It's better he lives with dignity or be disgraced at the poll. But all should remember that there shall be no peace for the wicked, and evil workers must receive their rewards. He posted from Accra, Ghana. Austin Mogul says he posted from Fegonicha, and he says, Mr. Picker, you forgot to analyze the oddly concerned the former Lagos State Governor Ambode that stops him from contesting for second term in primary election in Lagos State. Okay, other persons that posted: Dr. Misimo Lebara, Ruchwat Ubiagu, Oluchichima, Obi Bekes, Maria Angel. Thank you all for dropping by and dropping your comment. So, Tony, somebody said that Fubara expected too much from the president, and that was why he banked on hopelessness, or that was why he tried to build castle in the air. Do you align with this?
Well, I think he banked on a lot of things, because when he was decapitated, when he was actually annihilated by the court rulings and the state of emergency, he felt that if I change party, things would normalize. But it did not. Just like somebody pointed out that he disappointed the supporters, he disappointed everybody. Just like I said, he is the first man to have voluntarily withdraw from a race. Like I said earlier on, yes, maybe his case and Ambode were close, but I think somebody mentioned it. Ambode participated in the primaries, and Ambode was actually disgraced in that primaries because he's got about 72,000 plus votes, whereas Sanwo-Olu got about 970,000. It was direct primaries. About 970,000 plus votes. I don't know how many people we have in APC that would make Sanwo-Olu to win direct primaries with 970,000 votes. It tells you a lot. But that for me, the other one got 72. But the point I'm trying to make is, it is left. And then somebody say the kingdom of God suffered violence. Let me put it in. Many people have misinterpreted that version. And then you know what? Frankly, there was a time I did a research and I discovered a very word, the Greek word used, bia desire. It means advancing. It's not talking about people advancing into the kingdom of God and pressing to get into it. It's not that kind of violence we are talking about. Because I have to start for the Greek text and I have to do the interpretation. But that's by the way.
All right. So on that very note, we thank every one of you for joining today. At 11, it's going to be music, then 12, news, and 12:30 cherry box. They're going to bring you all the gist, all the all the
Would you even congratulate Aston Villa for what they did last night?
Oh, yes. They dealt with Freiburg. Yes, the 3-0 it ended. And they scored beautiful goals, I must say.
Yeah, Unai Emery, specialist in Europa League, 5 times. At least give it to him. But then he didn't do it with Arsenal. When he was Arsenal manager, Chelsea defeated Arsenal in that Europa League final. It was a disgrace anyway. But congratulations to Aston Villa.
Okay, so let's see what's going to happen in the final of the Champions League. So if English team gets to win that, would that be domination by English team? Stay with us. Thank you for listening. Good morning. My name is Frank Nebuka.